6:36 actually. Just before I eat, I just did deadlifts, my last deadlift workout. Competition Saturday. How is everybody doing tonight? I know nobody's on yet. I'll have to ask that when everybody goes on. Good deadlift workout tonight. I did 520. It flew up like nothing. Go figure, right? 510 went up pretty easily. 520, I really concentrated on pushing my feet to the floor. You know, that's the way you got to do it. Only people that deadlift know about that. They understand that concept. I'm waiting for people to come on board here. Drink a little water. I'm going to go eat in a little bit. I have a little bit of battery life. Usually it's almost dead by this time. Uploaded to your video. Okay, my video got uploaded. I just made a quick video about using the deadlift jack. Yeah, I'm gonna make more videos. I want to get monetized. I almost have 6,000 subscribers. I'd really like to get monetized. And it takes a lot of hours on here, though. You know, that's why I'm doing a lot of live streams, which are fun. You know, they're fun. You get some riffraff. You just end up blocking them. You can tell if people are silly and acting like an idiot. You know, you just block them. Yeah. Oh, I gotta get something in my car. That reminds me. I got some Mongolian chocolate from a Mongolian Air Force guy in the Mongolian Air Force. Yep. Yeah, it takes a little while to get people on board here. You know, you see one, and then one usually leaves, and it's all of a sudden you look up, there's 3 or 4 people. Yeah, you want to get it so you have a serious flow of people, though, that join. Yep, I'm working at it, though. I got to get a camera, like I said. I've been saying that for a while now. I just got to get a camera in here and hook up to my lady's got a laptop, you know. One more week. Next Saturday, I'll be in Vermont competing. On Saturday, lifting starts at 9 a.m. I'll have a bunch of videos up, pictures and all that. I'll put on my channel. I had my last deadlift workout tonight. It went very good. All I did was deadlift. It's been a scary thing lately because for almost 4, I think it was 4 weeks in a row, man, I couldn't pull 500 pounds, man, for some reason. I usually do that easy. I've done it for 6 reps. I think it was a mental thing or something, man. But I could not get 500 pounds off the floor. And then it broke last week. I just had 500 pounds on the bar, and I did two sets of singles with it. Hello, I don't know Russian, but good afternoon. Sam, good evening, actually. Got 14 people looking on now. Yeah, so it was a good deadlift workout tonight. I started off with my usual 135 for like 3 or 4 reps. 2 sets of that. It's I don't know what it would be in kilograms, but it's the bar and a 45-pound plate, or a little more than a 20-kilogram plate on each side, just one. I always start off with that usually. Then I put another plate on. Another 20, I think it ends up being 20.4 kilograms, I think. Does it say on there? No. 45 pounds for 225. It's more than 100 kilograms, 2 plates on each side. And then I do 2 sets of that, you know, 3 reps. And then I put 315 on the bar, 3 plates on each side of the bar. 3 20.4 kilogram plates. And I do two reps, 2 sets of that. And then I threw on 510, and I was kind of nervous. I mean, only a week before I said, if I hit a wall on this, I'm gonna have a shitty total, man, without the deadlift, because my squat is getting way up there. But anyways, it flew up pretty easy, 510. My video's up already right now. Flew up, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna do one more set. That might have been my mistake in the past. I was only doing one set of like just over 500 pounds and calling it a day. I'm gonna start having to do like 3 sets, 2 sets at the least, with a good amount of weight on there. So I put 520 on it, and that flew up easy. It flew up easy. I've been taking that cue. Now deadlifters will know what I'm talking about. Putting your feet through instead of just lifting it, you're putting your feet through the platform. That's what you're concentrating on. Pushing your feet down through the platform. It sounds weird, and if you're not a deadlifter, it sounds crazy, but that's how it works. Deadlift and squat is a hip hinge exercise. It's you lift it with your hips mostly, you know. My squat has been getting way up there. Last one I did was 515 for a double, so it's pretty good, you know. The deadlift finally passed it again, thank God. You know, I want it to be about the same. That's how you know a good power lifter, if they're doing pretty decent weight, you know. If the squat and the deadlift are pretty close, you know. You want the squat and the deadlift to be close. Kind of a more, I used to be pretty amateurish. I had a 540 deadlift or 545 deadlift, and I couldn't even squat 450, you know, for one. So I had a 540 deadlift, and I could not squat even I don't think I could do 440 even. So it was like 100 pounds difference. Yep. So today's deadlift went amazing, thank God. Yep, no worries. I don't have to deadlift again till Saturday when I compete. I'll be going to Vermont, like I said, Brattleboro, Vermont. This will be I think at least 4 times I've been there. I'd have to look it up. I forget, you know. Since I've been competing, I haven't every one of them I've done either. I got disqualified for one for tearing my hamstring. Every other one I've come in first place. It'll show one of them that I didn't even show up to. They didn't take me off the board, but I got the flu or I got injured or something like that, and I had to cancel going there. So it's got no numbers at all on it. Oh, and they also, on open powerlifting, what is it now? Oh, he spelled my name wrong. So I have one lift, it shows, one competition on open powerlifting that's, I think he spelled my name with Allen. So it shows up as a one competition. So I have 2 different names, 2 different open powerlifting numbers. One of them just has the one competition. I think this will be over 20. I'll have to count them that I've done since I was 51. But I'm going to open up with 500 on the deadlift. That should be easy enough. And let's see, I think I'm going to go with 530 the next one. And then we'll see how that goes up. 530 I should be able to do. I'm hoping about 550, which is, you know, it's not my best, it's not my worst, but it's nothing to, you know, nothing. It'll at least get my total up there. I might be able to beat my total, the record I have for total. I have the record for the APA for my age group for total. Boy, I had 14 people on here. Now I have only 2. I know it's kind of boring talk. But yeah, I'm going to probably go eat soon. Did anybody else train tonight? Anybody train anything tonight? Yeah, that was weird. I had 14 people on here, and now it's only 2, which is okay, though, you know. I'm going to go eat in a few minutes anyways. Yeah, at my job at the military base, I met a cool guy right here. He gave me this. He's a major in the Mongolian Air Force. Gave me this arm patch, which is cool. And he gave me some chocolates. I'm going to have to bring them in the house. They're in my trunk. Some Mongolian chocolate. It's a very, very big country, an area with a very small population. Mongolia has only got like 3 million people. About the same population, I think, as Massachusetts. Somewhere around there. And it's huge, man. I don't know how big. I know it's much bigger than even Texas, you know. Much, much bigger. Huge. I think it stretches across the whole United States if you put it in United States. I've met a lot of nice people at my job. Pretty cool, you know, for the most part. It doesn't pay the best, though. But what can you do, you know? So I'm going to open up with 500 on the deadlift. Deadlift is last. Now there's nobody. It's okay. It's all right. I'm going to go eat anyways. Yeah, one more person. So did you train today? Number one person that's on here. The one person. My deadlift went fantastic. Like I was telling everybody, the best deadlift I've had in months. Probably in a long time. I mean, because just the way it felt, it went right up there. I'm going to open up, I think, with 470 on the squat. Something like that. I could actually open up with 500, but I don't want to burn myself out right away. I'm 57 years old, Kelsey. Good afternoon, good evening, I mean. It's almost that time, almost 7 o'clock here. So yeah, I ended up with a very easy 520-pound deadlift in training today, which is very encouraging. When you're training, it's only, Kelsey, I only have a week. Next Saturday I'm competing, and I deadlifted. The first set was 510. Second set was 520 pounds. I never use a belt. I don't use a belt when I deadlift. I use a belt though when I squat. Sometimes when I bench. Probably the squat is the most important thing for me to use a belt. Never use straps. I don't even use them when I do rows, really. I do have them though. I have a whole box of them actually. So I'm going to open up with 470 on the squat. Next attempt, I'm going to go right for 530 pounds, which will break my own squat record, APA 55 to 59. And then I'm going to, let's see, the bench, I'm going to open up with just a simple 350. And then I'm going to go to, I think, 390. I'll go right for 390 on the bench. And then possibly, super impressive. I'm just reading the comments from my video. Yeah, I'm going to go probably 400, 405 for the third attempt, something like that on the bench. Trying to get, I'd like to get a 400-pound bench, you know. See how it goes, you know. I don't know, the last, making it seem light work when I'm not even, just stay consistent, Kelsey, and you'll get there, you know. You just got to be consistent. Don't overtrain. Don't eat. I'm not gonna call it ego lift. Don't grind them all. Don't do a lot of grinding it out. They call it. You know, not too much of that. That leads to overuse injuries. I find. Try to stay. Keep one in the tank. They call it. You know, or a half a rep, anyways, in the tank. Or so. Usually a rep is good if you can do. If you can do two, keep it down to one. You know. Depends on how old you are too, you know, and how strong your joints are. Everybody's different, you know what I mean? Some people can get away with all that grinding it out. They got super strong, super flexible, strong joints, you know. Workout. How long have you been working out? I started working out around 1981. I had a plastic weight set from Sears and Roebuck. I trained a little bit then, not too much though. Then I really started getting into it about 1987 till, let me think, about 2001. I trained pretty good, you know, on and off mostly. And then I stopped training until 2015 or 2016. Who's gonna cry? I'm kind of bad. I deadlift, but I did too. Oh, that's good though for your first time. Yep, that's good. Yeah, I was saying I did 520 tonight easily on the deadlift. So yeah, I've been lifting on and off since the early 80s, on and off. Real consistently though from 2015 or actually 20. Let's call it 2016. 2015, yeah, 2016 pretty much till now, you know. Oh yeah, plateaus suck. I've hit plenty of them. How I beat them is if I know I hit a plateau, I'll back off on the weight, how much I'm using, and I'll do more reps with a little bit lighter of a weight, not too much lighter. All right, let's just say that I'm struggling with 375 for three, right? I'm only getting two of them, and hit that wall for 2 or 3 weeks maybe. I'll back off to 330 and see if I can get 8 or 9 with that on the bench. That's just an example. And or what I will do is I'll back off of that weight and do I'll back off of it and do fives. You know what I mean? I'll start off with something like 335 for five. That's what I did last time. I'll go to 340, and then each week I'll go up a little bit. So I'll change the rep scheme is what I'll do. I'll change the rep scheme. Psychologically it sucks when you hit a plateau. I hit this plateau one time competing where I could not do more than 350 pounds on the bench. I did that on my first competition, 350. I benched that on my third attempt. Then the next time I competed, it was a February, right before COVID hit. So what would that be? 2020, I think. Right before COVID hit. So I hit 350 on the bench. My next competition I did was right in the middle of COVID in August, and I opened with 320. That was easy enough, and then I just put 5 more pounds on. I wanted a 355 bench. I couldn't do it. I had 2 attempts. Then the next time I was very disappointed. That's the lowest bench I've ever had in a competition was 320. I had to settle for that. You can't go down, In the next competition, I did get 350. Did I? Yes, I did 350. I couldn't do 355 again, though. I got denied on that. And then I competed about a month later at the Larry Pacifico Challenge in Ohio, and that was the second lowest bench, 342. It was in kilogram plates. I could not do 352. I got stuck there. Then I started using different rep schemes and stuff. Also, you got to try hitting your triceps real hard too. If you hit on the bench, I'm talking about. I'm talking about bench now, right now. The deadlift, I don't know. That comes and goes, man. The deadlift sometimes, man. You got to make sure you get enough rest before you do it. But anyways, I finally broke that plateau in the summer that same year of the Larry Pacifico Challenge. But I was almost 2 years before I did 370 the following August. And then the next time I competed, I did 380 pounds. And the next one, I had the flu. I did 375. I didn't get 400 until I was 54 years old. That's when I finally benched 400 in competition, and 405 or 184 kilograms when I was 56, less than a year ago. That's the first time I did that. Yeah, plateaus suck. I don't really hit them on the squat because, you know what, I just really learned how to squat right in the last year or two. I never squatted right. I didn't have the form down, so it seems like I have unlimited potential even at my age in the squat. But I don't really hit a plateau. I will go down in it. Say you get an injury. I get injuries. I'm older, Then you're automatically going to go down in it, and you just have to build yourself back up, The last bad injury I had was I tore my hamstring in competition in Fall River. That's the only one I got disqualified for. Yeah, you're welcome. But like I said, yeah, that's the bench. That's the one I've had the most plateaus on, the bench. The other lifts, oh, my battery's starting to die. The other lifts, I don't really hit a plateau, but it goes down if I get injured. I never had any real major injuries, but all it takes is if you pull a muscle in your glutes, hamstrings, your knee, you tweak your knee a little bit, and you miss 3 or 4 weeks, man, you go back down again, it sucks. But yeah, I'll hit the plateau. I don't get it's not as easy for me to get injured in the doing the bench, as much. I've had some of them. I did tear my pec just a tiny bit, not a serious tear or anything. It did turn black and blue just a little bit, but it didn't really put me down too far, too long. That was a long time ago I did that. Yeah, like I was saying, if anybody's new on here tonight, this is a sober powerlifting channel. I've been sober for over a decade. I usually put videos up every day. I try to go live every night. I have been doing that lately. Being sober has changed my life 100%. I was homeless for almost a decade and a half, on and off. Like, I mean, on and off, like I'd get an apartment for a couple of months or whatever, get thrown out of there, live on someone's couch, you know, get thrown out of there. Yeah, my life was complete hell. I was addicted to opioids for over a decade, and then it was the alcoholism that took over after I got somewhat off the opioids and couldn't get my hands on them as much. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, it's changed my life 100%. I got sober in Illinois. I was a inmate in Illinois. Property of the Illinois state for my first 10 months of sobriety. I got charged with possession of under 5 grams of methamphetamine in a small little town in Richland County, Illinois called Olney. Yep. Olney, only. And it just spiraled. From there, once I got arrested doing that, I got put on first offender's probation. I fucked that all up. I moved to so many different times, different places. I could write a whole book about my time in Illinois and my last couple of years of using, about the different bottoms I hit. It's unbelievable. In and out of homeless shelters. Yeah, like I said, there was no gym, believe me, for me at that time. Although when I'd go to jail for a while, I'd start working out in there. I'd start doing push-ups and stuff right away, you know. The old me, the good part of me would come back once the alcohol left me and the drugs, you know. I'm like kind of like programmed to work out as long as I'm sober. It's crazy, man. What a crazy life I had lived though. Yeah, I was in every county jail you can think of, boy. Not you can think of. Everywhere I lived, I was in a county jail when I was out there in my addiction, you know. Different kind of thing, assault and battery. I used to boost many times for retail theft. Many times, over 10 times for retail theft, you know. Every one of them was under $300, so they were all misdemeanors. It's all I was lucky with that one. I didn't ever get caught with anything over $300. All kinds of shit. Possession of Klonopin one time, that ended up getting thrown out. I don't know what happened with that one. I have no idea. I was in Palm Beach County, and I was in the hospital. I was visiting my lady in the hospital. I used to do some real fucked up shit I'll have to talk about here that I'm not proud of, you know, like stealing from people and stuff. But I'll tell you what, God can change anybody, and he's changed this guy right here 100%. I don't entertain any of that. I love my new life. I love my sober life, you know. I got a beautiful girl here. We get along beautifully. I've been in some situations I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I'll tell you right now. Being homeless in the woods in Carbondale, Illinois. You know, I didn't even have a tent. I had a damn, what did I have? A tarp. That's all I had, and the wet sleeping bag that got wet, you know. Living in the woods right near Carbondale, where Southern Illinois University is, around that area. I've been addicted, and I've had bottoms on all the drugs you can think of before. Yeah, I pretty much, during my Illinois times, I pretty much was drinking myself to death, pretty much. I couldn't get a hold, and when I was living in Florida before that, I moved to Illinois, I think in 2012 or 2011. It might have been 2011. You know how I figure out where I was at certain times? From songs that were popular on the radio, if that's believable. What was that? I'm trying to think of the one song that was out there. I can't think of the name of it, but it was by LMAO or something like that. I'm too sexy or something like that. I can't. But that was out then. I think that came out in 2011. So that's when I moved to Illinois. There was that group, LMAO, something like that, that came out with that song right at the same time I was moving. That's how I figure out where I was. I couldn't get a hold of. I had a stint of heroin there. Did a lot of heroin. It was too expensive to really get a big habit there. $30 for a little bag of it, you know, in Southern Illinois. I got sober before the fentanyl thing really hit, thank God. I don't think I'd be here right now if I was doing the fentanyl. I have a lot of friends that have family members that have died doing that. I've even met a guy that was shooting the Suboxone even. He found a way to get high on those fucking things. Man, I tell you, I've been in some situations. They were just, they'd make your skin crawl in the back of your neck. But anyways, that's for another night. I will talk about some more of my addiction stories. I think they're interesting. I mean, lifting is great. I hit on that too, you know. But I'd like to tell a little bit about my experience, strength, and hope on future lives. If there's anybody out there that's struggling with addiction, you know. I'm someone that's open to talk to them and tell them, you know, they don't have to live like that, you know. You never have to go back and live that life if you don't want to, you know. You never have to go back. Someone told me that when I first got sober. It was like, you know how you feel now? I said, yeah, I feel like shit. They're like, well, you never have to feel like that again, you know. But anyways, everybody have a blessed night. I'm going to go in and eat. My phone is about to die, so I'm going to have to plug it in. I'll talk to you guys. I'll try to do some live streams this week. I will do some, actually, on sobriety, and I'll advertise it. I won't be training at all this week because I take a week off from training. But everybody have a blessed evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.